Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. I celebrate my humble self, MC Bernardino. Thank you very much for always coming back to this YouTube channel. Alright, on today's episode, we don't want to be devoid of the fact that there's coronavirus going out there. So on today's episode, I want to tell you about the impact of the coronavirus on Canada immigration. You know, this channel is all about Canada immigration, right? Those that want to come into Canada. So we'll be talking about the impact of the coronavirus, COVID-19 on Canada immigration. So you want to stay tuned, I'll be back. So you're welcome back. So many of you must have noticed that this my channel is probably going through some kind of revamping, and we're trying to do some rebranding, and now we have the name as Canada Reality. I mean, just as against the name that I had before, the longer one, the Canada Immigration with MC Bernardino. I felt people could actually relate to this on Canada Reality, so that actually strike a chord with you, because I'm trying to bring to you the reality about Canada. And as a result of the rebranding that we're doing, it's not only limited to immigration alone. Sometimes I want to give you the sights and sound culture things about Canada. Okay, so let's leave it aside and let's go to today's topic. Yeah, many of you are conversant with the coronavirus that is spreading around now all over the world. I mean, Canada is not left out. So what are the impact of COVID-19 on Canada immigration, for especially those that are outside that want to come to Canada, either through study, work, visit, express entry, whatever you want to come in, out, whatever way you want to come into Canada, or if you're already in Canada. So I'm going to be probably answering some of your questions, some of your yearning, trying to ameliorate some of your concern about migrating to Canada and the impact this COVID-19 has on Canada immigration. So stay tuned, I will be answering those questions. Okay, so the first question I'll be addressing today is, who are the people that can come into Canada? You want to agree with me that globally now, most countries now, they've placed restriction for people to come into their country. Canada is not an exception. So for now, the only people that can come into Canada now are Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or immediate family member of Canadian citizen or permanent resident. Those are the only people that can come into Canada for now. So if you are outside Canada as an international student, you want to come into Canada, you might not be able to come into Canada for now if you are not a permanent resident or a citizen. Alright, so but I will advise you to go on Canada immigration website to always get up-to-date information, because as situation unfolds, they try as much as possible to notify people on, especially for the international students that are resuming for the May admission. So for now, only Canadian citizen and permanent resident and immediate family members of these people. So when we talk about immediate family members, who are regarded as immediate family members, so we're talking about spouse. A spouse is regarded as an immediate family member. Descendants, I mean children of immediate family member, common law partner, and a grandparent, parent, step-parent, guardian or tutor. These are regarded as an immediate family member. So when you begin to talk about aunt, uncle, those are not regarded as immediate family member and cannot come into Canada. So let's talk about those that possess a valid COPR. I mean, you've been given your permanent resident to come into Canada. All you're waiting for is just to land in Canada, because you've been given your COPR. But now, because of the ban that is in place now, you cannot come in. So if peradventure you've been given your COPR, I mean permission to land in Canada as a permanent resident, but you are not yet in Canada, you might not be able to come into Canada for now. What I would just tell you simply to do is that always go on Canada immigration website wherever you are outside Canada to always check for updates, because very soon there might be an avenue for you. But for now, it's only the permanent resident and citizen and immediate family members of these people that can come into Canada. And just like I said earlier on, as an international student that is coming into Canada to come and resume, yes, Canada knows about your situation, but you cannot come into Canada. Rather, go onto the website and continue to check for updates. Another question that might be troubling the mind of people that are outside Canada is, will Canada be reducing or stopping Canada immigration as a result of COVID-19? To answer that, that is a fat and a big no. I mean, Canada is not at any point in time stopping immigration because of COVID-19, and because of this coronavirus, it's not going to affect Canada immigration. Hear what the immigration minister said at a point in time this year.
Over the next 75 years, Canada shall be the star towards which all who love progress and freedom shall come. There are some living in this audience who, before they die, will see this country with at least 60 million of people. Who would have thought Sir Wilfrid Laurier would be seen as such a visionary when he uttered these words in 1904 before Massey Hall, not far from here? The answer is no one. Back then, the math made sense. But 116 years later, we know that while Laurier was off somewhat in his predictions, he was ultimately right in his long-term outlook. The only difference is that today, the need for us to continue growing is no longer a luxury or really even a choice. In 2020, the future of Canada hinges on immigration.
Based on that information that you've gotten from the immigration minister, that shows that Canada is built on immigrants. Most of the people in Canada are immigrants. So Canada is not at any point stopping in immigration. So what I will advise you is this. Can you still apply for your express entry? Yes, you can still apply for express entry. Yes, if you've have all the information, all the documents, everything, you can still go online, create your profile, and apply for permanent resident. Yes, that simply states that Canada is still processing application. I mean, they are still processing application. But if at the point in time you are required to do your IELTS, because most of these IELTS centers are closed because of this COVID-19, you might not be able to do that. Or if you want to do biometric, you might not be able to do that. But to create the application online for express entry, you can still go online and you can still do that. Next on the question that I'll probably be doing justice to is, as an refugee, as an asylum seeker, can I still come into Canada and declare refuge asylum? Yes, to answer that question, based on the information we got from the Prime Minister of Canada, it's a no, no, no. I mean, you know, the only country that Canada shares border with is US. And people that come to declare asylum refugee in Canada always coming through the US border. So, based on the agreement between US and Canada, if you come into Canada as at now, if you come into Canada to declare asylum as a refugee, you will be returned back to where you're coming from. Simply saying that you'll be returned back to the US. So it is not advisable now, if you want to come into Canada to come and declare as an asylum or a refugee, this is not a good time for you. So I will advise you not to do that, because you will be sent back. Another popular question that I'll be doing justice to today is, can I still go on with my educational credential assessment or my IELTS exam? Yes, to answer that, if you go on West's website now, you discover that because of this COVID-19, they are putting a pause for educational credential assessment. They are not doing anything, so you might not be able to continue with that except you have done it before. That's when you can create your express entry profile. And for the IELTS exam, you also want to agree with me that most countries now, they've cancelled IELTS examination because of this coronavirus. I mean, because you know the way the setting is, you have a lot of people taking the exam at the same time, and in order for them not to spread the virus, they've decided to stop IELTS examination for now. So you might not be able to do that. Yes, another question will be that, okay, I'm in Canada right now and my visitor's permit is expiring soon. My study permit is expiring soon. My work permit is expiring soon. What can I do? Yes, you're in Canada. What you can simply do if any of your visa is expiring anytime soon is, I will advise you to just jump online. They are still accepting application online. Go online and apply for extension of your visa. I mean, you don't want your visa to expire, right? So I'll go online, pay the necessary fee, upload the necessary document, and apply for your visa extension. So if you apply, the moment you applied and they haven't referred back to you to tell you if your application was granted or not, you are still allowed to stay in Canada under implied status. So what I will advise you is just simply go online and apply for the extension of your visa. And if you are outside Canada as a foreigner, and any of your visa, your study, your work, your visitor, any of this application, your visa is expiring soon, I still advise you to go online and apply for extension, because that is the only way, because it can be extended in order for you not to expire. So the last but not the least question that I'll be doing justice today is, when is this restriction on migrating, coming into Canada, traveling to Canada, when is it going to last? To be sincere with you, nobody actually knows when this is going to last, just like nobody knows when this COVID-19 is probably going to end. So if you go on, just what I would just advise you to do is always go on to the IRCC website to check for the latest update on any information they have there. I mean, and at the same time to try as much as possible to stay away. Try to keep yourself safe too, because it's very paramount. Yes, just let me quickly drop this. If you're a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident and you want to come into Canada as a coming as a foreign internationally, you want to travel to Canada, right? There are only 4 airports through which you can come into Canada. You can come into Canada through the Toronto Pearson airports, which is YYZ. You can come in through the Montreal Pierre Trudeau International Airport, which is YUL. And you can come in through Calgary International Airport, which is the YYC. And last but not the least, you can come in through Vancouver International Airport, which is YVR. So Canadian citizen, permanent resident of immediate family member of these people can only come into Canada through any of these 4 international airports. So if you feel there's any question, anything you still don't understand about the impact of COVID-19 on Canada immigration, feel free to drop it in the comment section in my video below. I mean, if you enjoyed this video, give it the thumbs up button, share the video with someone that you feel might actually need it. Just to summarize everything I've said today, yes, COVID-19 is real. Coronavirus is real. It's eating so many countries. It's originated from China, sometimes November 2019. I mean, now it's not only limited to Canada, to China alone. It has cut across virtually over 170 countries globally. So what I can just tell you is this: try as much as possible to stay safe. I mean, wash your hands as often as you can. If you're coughing, if you're sneezing, try to always sneeze into your elbow. And if you feel you've developed any of the symptoms of COVID-19, try to isolate yourself, stay back at home. I mean, don't spread the virus, rather spread the love. And in addition to this, try as much as possible to isolate yourself, stay back at home. You don't have to go out if you don't need to go out. Many countries have placed restriction to traveling, so you might as well just want to stay back at home. So I come back to you guys with another educating information on immigration to Canada. This is your own boy MC Bernardino on Canada Reality. Stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.